So Rita, you had a viral moment recently. I'm all for talking to people who have viral moments. Set this up for me because if you haven't, you guys have probably seen this clip. If you don't necessarily know who Rita is, you've probably seen this clip. This was from just a few days ago, just 5 days ago. Where were you? What was going on? Which Pride event was this? And like, what led up to this clip right here?
So I had been at the Pride Parade event in Pittsburgh, and that's where I actually live. I'm based out of Pittsburgh, and I've always lived here. And this was a little bit after the whole parade had ended, and this was around the vendor area. And one of the when I was just walking, I was just kind of filming what was happening through the. Obviously, it was kind of like my deterrence was to film myself instead of like everyone was like, you need to carry a weapon and you need to be have a be ready to protect yourself if you need to. And I was like, that's the worst thing that I could do is to show up to a pride parade event in a Maga hat and pull a gun out. Like that would be all the left wants. So I knew that like the only thing I could really do was just show up completely unarmed. I didn't have a bodyguard or anything like that too. So I just kind of went in there just by myself as like to be, myself, and in a sense live what the pride parade is supposed to mean, which is like all inclusive, everyone's allowed and express who you are. And I was expressing who I was at the event, and I was walking down the sidewalk, and all of a sudden I had someone screaming at me. And there was actually, if you can notice this, there's this person here that was covering themselves with like their fan or whatever. This is what they were doing the entire time. Is like anytime I'd pass by somebody, they would
Oh
cover
my
themselves with like
god.
a fan because they didn't want to be on camera. But all of a sudden, I kind of heard someone just saying, you can't wear that hate speech hat here. And I told him that yes, I could wear that. I could wear the hat here, and that I was welcome here. But up to this point, I already had multiple people come up to me and tell me that they were very happy for me to be there and kind of represent what I was representing. And I hadn't been kicked out or anything like that. They weren't telling me to leave. I guess in a sense, I actually looked back at the rules, and the parade was you had to sign up to actually walk in the street. And I have a lot of footage of me actually walking in the street with the parade people. So I guess maybe I did break the rules there, but I don't know. I don't think so because there was plenty of people walking in the street. So
So you had to sign something to march?
what was that?
You had to sign something to march? Just
Yeah,
like
like,
march in the
I guess
parade?
otherwise you had to be, like, on the sidewalk. I
Wow.
didn't know that. I thought it was I mean, I saw people just walking in the street. It seemed pretty much like a free for all out there. There was people dressed up in, like, gimp mask, and they had, like, that
Oh,
like
yeah, they can wear full-blown S&M equipment, but you can't wear a MAGA hat. It's so ridiculous.
that's a good point. I didn't even think about it like that. They can wear I mean, they were in front of children. There was literally, like I still haven't released all the footage, but there's video of kids that like parents with their kids there in strollers, like their babies are being influenced. I saw babies wrapped up and around in rainbow gear, and they had
Ugh,
like the rainbow mask, and
they must have just come from Target. Yeah.
yeah, they just walked out of Target, the Satan
Mhm.
section, Satanist section or whatever. Eh, um, and
Wow.
totally were going
Okay,
off about
so
it.
I'm gonna play this clip for you guys who have not seen it. Here we go.
I'm welcome here. I am welcome here.
No, you're not. You're not welcome here.
Yes, I
Hate
am.
is not welcome here.
I am welcome
we don't
here.
give a fuck about Trumpers.
Local Blair White is welcome here.
No, you're not welcome
Let's
here.
fucking
Oh
go.
my god. Oh my god, he took your hat.
Welcome here.
You're not allowed to do that.
What an asshole.
Hey, this is Nazi right here. We don't.
This is where I got actually scared.
Oh,
Because you're like, this guy is trying to draw a crowd of people basically to attack you. I mean, what other conclusion can we come to?
And that point, yeah, and there was multiple people starting to say you can kind of hear in the background here in a second, but people are like, "Go home, Nazi! Go home, Nazi!" And I literally thought that they were going to mob me at that point, and then it was
Wait,
all
what is this?
over.
The local Pittsburgh Nazi expert? Who is he to like? Who freaking made him king of pointing out who the Nazis are? It's like the fucking nerve.
I'm not a Nazi. They try to take my hat. Let's go.
But you're still keeping like a really good attitude. I mean, like, look at all these people are giving you the finger.
I didn't notice that until afterwards that guy that person, I don't know if that person
Who
what that
knows
is, but
that they, yeah, a lot, and it's always the most unattractive people who seem to act out and spread the most hate.
that's true. It's always the ugly ones.
Oh, he's so mad. He's so
No.
mad. He's so angry.
He's probably so annoyed that there's not. Well, look at these crackheads in the background. What is this? They look like they're doing a cosplay of what's that group that the Dodgers invited, then uninvited, then invited back. The Ladies of Perpetual Ignorance. What's the group?
Ooh, I don't
Perpetual
know actually. I'm ignorant
Indulgence.
on this.
Indulgence. Yeah.
Indulgence.
They make fun of Catholics. Yeah.
Hey,
You're like, I'm not gonna die. Whew.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably like bracing yourself like, ugh, it's a horrible feeling.
oh, they're mad.
A lot of people miss this moment at the end, but it's actually like the best moment, I think.
They're giving you the finger too. It's how lazy can you get just from your lounge recliner here? Just a lazy middle finger.
Go home. Boo! Let's rock and roll.
You don't come to your rallies? Yes, they
You need to
do.
calm
They do.
down.
They do.
They absolutely do.
You need to calm
Antifa has
down,
been at
Sarah.
every
Let's
Trump
fucking
rally
roll.
I've been to.
Ah. Oh, you will. You should be more inclusive and accepting.
You should be more close. Don't fucking.
Wow.
That's an assault. It's on camera.
What an
It's on.
asshole. What a old queen. What a disgusting twat. Who does that? It's just these people feel so entitled to just hit, push, rip off your hat. They feel this is like what this culture has bred because they literally believe that like words are violence. A MAGA hat is violence, and they feel completely entitled to lay hands on you, to shout you down.
Right.
It's wild. Yet if the same were to happen to them, they'd cry hate speech and they'd call the cops on you.
It'd be a hate crime, of course.
Would be a hate crime. Yeah. Your ESG score would plummet or social credit score. That's for the individual. It's just unbelievable. So this guy kind of came out of nowhere. Did you actually think he was going to hit you with his fan?
No, I did not think that was gonna happen. That was a little bit, and like reviewing the footage, it was like, man, I don't know how I perfectly like kind of filmed this entire segment where I thought that there was plenty of footage of me like messing up and like messing around with the camera and everything, and how it like even how this ends right here is pretty epic with him just like waving that rainbow flag in the background. But yeah, I didn't know that he was going to do that and come up and hit me. It was very unexpected. All I knew in that moment, I was like, oh, that's it. I got you. It's over. You've been exposed.
Yeah.
I wasn't anticipating
thing
that
perfectly.
happens at all. Yeah, no, it was but I was shaken up at that point because I was like, at this point, are they going to start chasing me through the thing? And I didn't really understand this because I wasn't saying anything to anybody. It was very quiet the entire time. I only would engage with people that came up to me and like wanted to be on camera and be in videos or whatever. So people constantly were saying, well, you went there to antagonize. And I was like, well, I think to antagonize, I would have to walk up to somebody and say something to them and provoke conversation. But all I was doing was wearing a hat.
And their side will argue that they can't even exist, that someone just saying they don't want their kids to be trans, they will equate that to genocide. Like they're the leaders in hyperbole, in drama, in making a mountain out of a molehill. Yet they are simply trying to exist with your MAGA hat on, and they will not let it stand. They will it was so unjustified. They'll say, oh, we're so inclusive of everybody that we agree with and we want to include. The people that we don't want to include, no, we're not inclusive at all. They think they're, I don't know, maybe they think they're keeping it safe or gatekeeping or the hall monitors of the parade. I have no idea.
So yeah, they're not inclusive whatsoever. I think this entire incident kind of proved that they're not, especially these events too. These are not what they are meant to be, which is inclusive and all accepting. And because I was actually in an interview with someone else on like a Twitter space, and he was like, they asked him like, well, there was a guy that like disagreed with me essentially, like that I should have been kicked out and I shouldn't have been welcome there. And they were like, well, why? And they were like, well, this is an event for people to express themselves and like for who they are. And I was like. And they were like, well, isn't that what Rita is doing? Is like, she's there, like expressing like who she is and what she is. And, I was just representing like the fact is like people like Blair White is like they're like 1% of the trans community or whatever, the trans people. I don't even like to use the word community, but in a sense, like trans people are 1% of the nation, and then like the Blair Whites are like 1% of that. So it's like a
Oh,
microdose, but in a sense, we should still be able to be there. There's a lot of people that are trans that don't agree with her, but still follow her content and get inspired by different things that she says. So
it's so funny that they had a problem with what you were wearing, because I saw this T-shirt trending. Someone on Twitter had posted this, but this is an actual shirt that I think someone spotted. Someone was wearing this at one of the Pride events, and it's literally a "Trans kids are sexy" shirt, which is wild. Like, this can be worn no problem, but you wearing a MAGA shirt is a huge problem. So it's just
that's no, I was going to say, I was starting to cut you off.
no, it's okay. It's wild. I can't believe this even is allowed to exist. Yet I couldn't have a "Rootin' for Putin" shirt on TeePublic.
Oh my gosh. That would be funny. That would be funny. I should wear something like that next time. I should wear like a full on like Putin like silhouette next time. I don't know.
It's
Something like
just
that.
funny. I made it because it was a funny thing, and it pisses off all the people that are easily triggered. So, it's so
That's funny.
crazy. I'm trying to see if I can find that Twitter post. Yep. Okay, here it is. Let me pull this up. God, I feel like this man should be embarrassed to be wearing this. The mindset required to think showing off a T-shirt that says "Trans kids are sexy." Why?
No,
I mean,
that's cringe. No, that is absolutely cringe. And like the trans kid thing, it's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I didn't even think about this until you've actually brought this up now that like, I'm wearing a MAGA hat there, but the stuff that these people are wearing is absolutely ridiculous. I was just wearing the MAGA hat like kind of in protest to everyone there, but I wasn't
yeah.
thinking about how ridiculous they are with
And is this
themselves.
that kid, who's the influencer kid? I don't know what his name is.
I think his name's like Desmond,
Desmond, right.
Desmond something, I forget. Let's not
Des
name drop him completely, Don't give him the
uh,
attention.
yeah. Oh my god, it's so sickening.
But I forget what his name is, so.
Okay, this is so interesting. Why do you want to abolish the concepts of pride and LGBT?
So, in a sense, like LGBT is supposed to like I don't really everything they've advocated for, I'm just completely against, especially like um I'm not saying I'm against gay marriage in a sense. I'm against gay marriage at the federal level. I'm against it being enforced, like a church having to endorse a federal a gay marriage. I'm not against it at the state level. It's kind of my same opinion like on abortion and stuff like that. But with the LGBT stuff, it's ideological. It always becomes ideological. And I think why we need to step away from it is like a lot of us, even like the people in I think like the right-minded transsexuals or whatever, we kind of still want to like sport our transsexual flag or the transgender flag, like the blue, pink, what I don't even know what it looks like. I forget. I mean, I know what it looks like. It looks ugly. Is what it looks like. And the rainbow
It
flag.
is. It looks like a confused gender reveal. It looks just like what you didn't. You had like you had baby pink and baby blue.
Something like that. But I think my main argument with this is like they're saying like, oh, we need to distinguish ourselves from this stuff. We need to distinguish ourselves from like what the LGBTQ plus whatever they're called at this point. Like there's constantly adding on new letters. Like it's ever changing.
True spirit, queer spirit, teen spirit. Ugh.
You know what? But the thing is, though, when they say it's about like sexual orientation and stuff like that, it's like, where's the straight people at then? Like, it's so eventually they're going to either get to the other side of it and realize, oh, we've included everybody. So now it's just everyone's included. So why have it in the first place? Or they'll revert it all the way back because now you see like there's things like the LGB, drop the T or whatever. And
Mhm.
I use the Hitchens argument where he used for God. I'm like, you're just getting one step closer to the truth every single time. So eventually they're like the
Oh.
lesbians and the bisexuals are going to say, you know what, this is for like single sex people, not these like degenerate, because I remember they used to like pick on bisexuals back, like gays and lesbians used to pick on bisexuals or whatever, like they need to pick a side or whatever. That's going to happen eventually too once they get the trans people out.
Wow.
And then lesbians will say, why are we having these gays? Why do we have gay? You know what? This is our group. It's
Right. We
lesbians
don't
only.
hang out. They don't go to the same parties. Come on.
Right. So it's either going to go one way that way or one way the other way. And they're going to realize that it's completely redundant to have the group in the first place. Me over here, I'm also saying things like they're saying, oh, we could reclaim the LGBT, or we could reclaim the trans flag, or we could reclaim the pride flag. It's like, how are we going to distinguish ourselves from something if we continue to embrace it? You know, we're just going to be the same thing going the speed limit. We're essentially, so then we're going to say, oh, you know what, actually, I think queer people should be involved too. And then all of a sudden we're back to the same thing. It's like, just disavow the whole thing. Just disavow the entire thing.
I like that. And you're just like promoting individualism, basically.
That's, yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, like just be yourself, find your friends. Don't feel like, because now it's like the LGBT group has so tightly wound up and weaved in with the Democratic Party, and it's like the two have become synonymous, really. So it's like you're asking to be ostracized if you're a conservative trans person or a right-wing lesbian. It's like, well, there's just so many more qualifiers to be in the group. So
That's true.
Not very inclusive.
Right now, I feel like I barely have time to do like anything. Not especially with what's happened this past week. It's like I can't even keep my own life or get enough sleep, or you know, it's a weird, it's like overnight I kind of like it was just weird. I didn't mean for it to. I thought, like, you know, I would post that video and it would get like, maybe I'd go up at like an extra 500 followers on Twitter, but it was like it's like now circulating on like every news, you know.
How many more followers have you gotten across the board?
So I went from, I think it was about 1,100 to 7,000 overnight.
Wow.
Which was like, it just kept growing. I was like, whoa, slow down. I remember seeing like Dinesh D'Souza retweet me, and then like Ollie London. And that was like, man, I remember watching Dinesh D'Souza like debate Christopher Hitchens for like years and stuff like that. And like now he's like retweeting me. Like, that's crazy. And like Ollie London retweeted me, and there was a few other people that were like, I think there was like some people that were like in Congress, that the 2 people in Congress that retweeted me.
Wow.
And like to have like 1 million views within like
amazing.
or almost 1 million views within 48 hours was like, I think honestly I'm handling it well though, because like there's a lot of comments, you know, there's a lot of criticism or whatever. I'm just like, I don't even have time for you people. I'm sorry.
They love to go into your Instagram and say shitty things on completely unrelated pictures. Be a picture of the dog, and they'll be like, "Fuck you, transphobe." That's what my Instagram looks like, anyway.
That's, you know, that's base. Let's go. Transphobe. Let's go. Transphobia is base. Let's go.
Love you guys. Thank you for the chats. Thank you for the comments. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Bye. All right. Love you guys. God, I don't even want to leave. This candle smells so good. I don't want to leave. All right. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye. Love you all. Join the Discord. Feet. Love you all. Wow. You guys are awesome. Love you, get it. Bye, guys. Bye. Now I'm really leaving. Love you. Bye.